Hey everyone, this video is a little out of my wheelhouse, but I just had to highlight this event and fit into my upload schedule. This year will mark the first ever Women's Wrestling Midlands Open. This is a massive move for the sport of wrestling for so many reasons, and especially women's wrestling. I try to stick to just D1 college wrestling videos, but women's wrestling I think is slowly moving to a one-divisional sport, so this classifies in my opinion. Plus, how could I not talk about this event? It's literally history in the making. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest expert at women's wrestling, however I do follow Team USA pretty well, and you can bet I do not want to be caught close to a Sarah Hildebrand leg lace. But I might not know as much as men's college wrestling, but I really wanted to honor this event and the women that hopefully compete at the first ever Women's Midlands. And hopefully I can help myself and others learn more about women's wrestling, especially in the college space, and to just grow the sport, because this is a huge stepping stone within our sport. I plan to watch more of these standout girls that I have been researching in preparation for this video in the future for sure, and I'm really excited to see the top competition at the first ever Women's Midlands. Before I move on, hi everyone, my name is Tanner and this is TrueTan Wrestling. I make videos about my favorite sport, Division I college wrestling, and well, some other stuff that kind of connects, but whatever. I primarily do lineup breakdowns, breaking news stories in wrestling, and dual/tournament previews/recaps. If you are a fan of the sport and my channel, hit that like button, and if you love the sport and are new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Now with that said, I'm sure I'll miss a few things about the first ever Women's Midlands, and I can't cover everything in this video, so if I do miss something or don't cover something you wanted me to talk about, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. Now, let's talk some Women's Midlands. This tournament is going to be fire, seeing multiple top 10 teams from multiple divisions. Currently there are a few NAI schools along with some tough NCAA schools. Almost every top 10 NCAA school is attending, with a few missing. Those schools are including Augsburg, Colorado Mesa, Emmanuel, King's University, McKendree, North Central, Presbyterian, Tiffin, and then possibly Princeton's up-and-coming girls team. There's a good variety of top teams and developing teams, which will help the stars and sleepers get challenging matches. The NAIA powerhouses traveling to Midlands are Grandview, Indiana Tech, Iowa Wesleyan, and Life University. I think it still goes without saying that this is still an open, like the men's division, so anyone can enter and they don't have to be from these teams. I also hope all of these teams bring their full to close to full squads to compete, and I hope there is some unpredicted red shirts or elite female competitors showing up to make a name for themselves or to build their stock. Just because there is a smaller field of teams, I don't really think this tournament will be on the smaller side of things. There should still be multiple wrestlers per school at every weight class to really build competitive brackets, and some of these women might even be having roster battles within the room, so every match is going to matter for these females. The final thing I want to mention before I start highlighting these teams individually is to let the viewers who don't know that female college wrestling is all freestyle. And there were world teams way before the college sport was drafted up. They thought it would be easier for transition purposes to just keep women's wrestling all freestyle. I think this is awesome, and I'm glad they kept it this way instead of making it folk style. I love folk style wrestling, don't get me wrong, my channel is based on the highest level of folk style wrestling, but we have some stud women on our world team, and I would bet there's a connection from them training freestyle throughout their whole college career, and maybe even their whole life, and then transitioning right into a world team in the same style. Plenty of great folk style wrestlers have made this same exact tradition just fine, but hey, it's just something to think about. Like I said, I still love folk style wrestling and freestyle wrestling. But that's enough for me. Let's just jump right in to our alphabetical journey down the teams list at Midlands. Augsburg is ranked in the top 5, and they have a team with serious depth. They're led by head coach Short, who I actually remember watching wrestle at the University of Minnesota. But then there's also Emily Shielson at 116 pounds, who's one of the Augie's most dominant wrestlers, and she has been on fire for 3 years in Minnesota, where she is currently undefeated with no blemishes on her career record, and she is going to be incredible and seriously raise her stock in a few days at Midlands. She is also a U23 world champ, so she is for sure going to have a target on her back. Katie Lang at 143 pounds is also seeing undefeated success, and she's only a freshman with her career looking very bright. Finally, there is Autumn Flagan, who has 2 losses on the year but are only to top opponents, so her productivity is still very high for Augsburg. Colorado Mesa was ranked as high as 6 coming into this year, and they have women ranked all over the top 10 up and down their roster. At 123 pounds, they have Marissa Gallegos, who is ranked as high as 2nd in the country, and is having an impressive year so far, along with their teammates at 130 pounds, Claire DeCungo, and at 143 pounds, Kaylee Lacey. Emmanuel is also ranked in the top 10 with some impressive women entering the field at Midlands. They have an alright team with one of their blemishes on the year was losing to a tough match at King's, but King's is the 2nd ranked team in NCAA wrestling currently, so there's definitely room for improvement and productivity for Emmanuel. They had a more competitive loss to Limestone College as well, but I still see their productivity to be very high at Midlands. Some of their standouts are Gomez at 101, but she has yet to wrestle this season, but she is currently ranked number 1 at 101 pounds. Bainon at 116 is also having a productive season for Emmanuel, with only 1 loss on the season Madison, and 3 tech falls. Similar to the men's team, the wrestling tradition runs deep with the next team in Grandview. They're one of the top NAI schools in women's wrestling, and they could be bringing a seriously competitive squad to compete at Midlands. Standouts for the team are 170-pounder Hunter Robinson, along with Olivia Brown at 191 pounds and Isabella Gonzalez at 130 pounds. They're all making moves for themselves and looking good this season. In the latest poll, Grandview was ranked as high as 3rd in NAI teams, which is very impressive. Another NAI entry for Midlands is top 10 ranked Indiana Tech. They are a growing program and they have a win over Lords this year, winning by shutout, so they are having some productive movements in their dual schedule. They took a tough loss to North Central, but North Central is an elite team that we will cover a little later. Taylor Wilson at 101 pounds has been a productive member for the Indiana Tech roster. Tiani Soares at 109 pounds is also having an incredible year, only losing to high-quality opponents and racking up several wins. Iowa Wesleyan is a developing NAI school with a decent-sized team. They have some scrappers on the team looking to make a name for themselves against some of the best teams in college wrestling. I'm excited to see some of them pop off and possibly make that name for themselves. King University is coming off a nice North Central tournament win, which should catapult them right into Midlands. They are ranked 2nd in the nation, and they will for sure see the number 1 ranked team at Midlands, but we'll talk about that team soon. They have Bowman at 170 pounds, who is having an impressive year, and I hope it continues at this tournament, along with multiple wrestlers ranked all over the top 10. They will have a serious chance to win or place top 3 at Midlands. The next team is known by most fans as one of the best teams in the country with a long women's wrestling tradition, and that is Life University. They are ranked number 2 in the NAI division, and they will for sure be tested at Midlands. They will see almost all the top 10 NCAA schools, and there are several established or top 10 NAI schools that are going to be trying to knock off Life wrestlers. They took 6th at the Missouri Valley Open, which is kind of a down performance for them, but they will hopefully bring their full squad to this event, which will truly make this a loaded field. They also have several wrestlers at World Team qualifying events, so they are definitely not short of depth. The top NCAA team that will be competing for the title is McKendree. It will not be easy for any team to compete or win at Midlands, but McKendree definitely has the firepower, but with that said, they also have a target on their back. McKendree has 2 girls ranked at multiple weight classes, so it is no surprise that they have been on the top of the NCAA rankings for a while, and this year is no different. They have studs like Guerin at 130 pounds, Boyd at 155 pounds, Kristoff and Fuller both ranked at 191 pounds, Lewandowski at 170 pounds, Granadonis and Reyna both ranked at 109 pounds. There are also several other women that will be pushing for Midlands titles, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a McKendree versus McKendree final at one of these weight classes. It is incredible to see a team have multiple All-Americans in one weight and see multiple wrestlers seeing success in the same weight class. The intensity of the room is probably amazing. Iron sharpens iron, it's that simple. North Central has some sleeper talent, but they are a top 10 team, so sleeper might be a little of an over-exaggeration or under-exaggeration, however you look at it. They had 2 women qualify for the Olympic trials, and that has to be an amazing confidence booster entering a college wrestling season, and probably builds confidence within the North Central room. They just came off hosting a tough tournament where they finished 2nd behind a small roster King team, and being a small roster McKendree team who took 3rd, which is still impressive and a good test before entering into Midlands. Unlike the men's wrestling team, Presbyterian's women's wrestling team is very established and very good, being ranked in the top 10. They have 4 women ranked, one being Sam Miller at 101 pounds, which could be one of the toughest weights at Midlands, Lopez at 109, Gallegos at 116, and Norris at 143 pounds. These 4 and others on the Presbyterian roster are must-watch for next week. Princeton does not have an official women's wrestling team, but I think they might bring the small number of females that train at their RTC. This could be a completely false rumor, but it would be awesome to see Princeton kick butt in men's and women's. Finally, there is Ohio powerhouse school Tiffin. They are another addition to the tournament that is in the top 10 for NCAA women's rankings. They have tough wrestlers like Sia at 116 pounds, who only has losses to McKendree and King wrestlers, so all quality losses. Well guys, that was just a minor breakdown on every team suspected / listed to enter Midlands, based on Midlands articles and track wrestling team entries. Tournament is still over a week away, so plenty of things could change. I think it would be interesting to see what other girls just come without a majority of their team, like red shirts or something like that. I'm sure we won't see like a Sarah Hildebrandt leg lacing college girls in the next week, but some lower depth chart world team members I could see maybe participating. I mean, Life in North Central have sent multiple girls to these qualifying events, and Shielson won U23 Worlds as a college athlete, so the quality for the first women's Midlands will definitely be up to par. Southern Oregon University, the top NAI school, won't be attending, but like I said, there will be almost every top 10 NCAA school, along with the number 2 and number 3 ranked NAI schools. Another key note, current transfer portal athlete Emma Bruntal will be entering Midlands at 143 pounds. She is leaving McKendree, and there is speculation on where she might go when she transfers, but it could be Iowa's first major recruit, and that would for sure be a recruit they need to jumpstart their program, and honestly, Iowa should expect recruits like that. Bruntal is a savage freestyle wrestler and a national champ for McKendree, so it's interesting that she's leaving, but like I said, she might be trying to join the Iowa squad, but that is just complete speculation. Also, just for my own curiosity, leave a comment in the comment section below when you think Iowa's women's team will start winning Midlands over under 5 years. I also think it would be cool to see high school stars like Blades and Welker enter this tournament to see how they perform on the college level, but since they are smoking girls on the world level, who knows how competitive it would really be for them. Overall, I learned a ton researching for this video, and I hope you guys did too. Like I said, I follow women's wrestling on the world scene, but I know I can do better following the college scene, and I plan to do better after following the first women's Midlands. I was actually at the North Central tournament that I alluded to throughout this video, and it was fun watching women compete and battle against quality opponents. One thing I will say is that those teams seem really tight-knit, and it speaks to the quick growth of the sport. It feels like every week there's a new program announced, and Iowa's announcement just made it even better for women wrestlers and the sport in general. Well, this was a fun video, sort of out of my wheelhouse for this channel, so if you like this, please leave a comment and a like, and if you found my channel through this video, feel free to hit that subscribe button as well for more videos sort of like this. I'm sure I missed a bunch of stud women in this breakdown, so please leave a comment on female athletes you think will make some noise at the first ever women's Midlands. And with all that said, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.